welcome to another amazing day at fmtraining.tv. My name is Margaret. I am here to discuss the wonderful and fantastic FileMaker platform here with you today. I've got Nick, the wonderful Nick Hunter, who is here to discuss we're starting a new series. It's going to be really quite cool. It's going to be basically UI and UX design for beginners. This is going to be like the first 3 days, which I'm going to pull up on the schedule right now. The schedule of wonder and joy are going to be about beginner developers, specifically like what is UI UX design, all the basic concepts you need to understand to actually get into UI UX design. One of the frankly, the best FileMaker UI UX designer that exists, hired by Claris to do all sorts of really cool stuff before he left for greener pastures. Welcome, everyone. We got the first 3 days of this UI UX design course for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with Nick, which will be awesome. Friday's gonna be really cool as well. It's gonna be FileMaker performance tuning with Hansa. He's got some new calculation stuff he's whipped up to discuss. If you would like to support the channel, feel free to get our FM Training annual subscription bundle. It is 100+ hours of high-energy video training and bite-sized animated chunks. Trainers include Nick himself, Richard, Calvin, Jacob, all fantastic trainers who cover a wide variety of subjects. So you can go from being a beginner or you know nothing about FileMaker to an intermediate developer. So this is really awesome. I highly recommend it. Helps support the channel, keeps us running. We do this 5 days a week for free, which is pretty cool. But we definitely don't mind you guys popping in. For people who have already bought this, thank you very much. We greatly appreciate it. With that being said, I think I'm ready to turn it over. Nick, what are we doing?
Hello, everybody. So thank you very much for this introduction. Always very great. And thank you for everybody for joining today. So I'm very happy today to introduce this new series of long webinars that we will have. So this is the first week of our UI UX series, right? So we're going to do a series of webinars based on the UI and the UX design. So the interface design, graphical design, right? So we're going to talk about that, right? And of course, I'm going to do that gradually, right? So we are going to talk about the UI UX for beginners, for people that don't know anything about UI UX. They don't even heard the word, or if they heard the word, they have no idea what is meaning. So we are going to do 3 days of beginners, 3 days of intermediate, 3 days of iPad, 3 days of iPhone, and then we have 3 days of more advanced and more advanced and more advanced. But when we say more advanced, we said like more complete, more more deep, right? Because advanced, I don't like this terminology of classifying people, right? I don't like to put people in boxes, but unfortunately, we have to come with the common knowledge, the classification that we all know, and it's the beginners, intermediate, and super developer, right? So, but it doesn't mean that if you I want you to, the beginners, right? For the beginners, you should watch the video, the webinar, the advanced one, because it will interest you. It's not like I said to people, even if you don't get everything, you will cherry pick something that will interest you, or something that you will get, you will understand, and you will use. So, and any type of discussion we will have, at one point you will take something out of it, right? You will learn something out of it, always, right? So, so let's introduce what is called the UI UX design. So first, you understood that there's 2 words in one, UI UX. Okay, UI UX that we commonly name GUI. GUI, So why GUI? GUI. So why? It's named Graphical Human Interface. Okay, GUI. The GUI, whatever you want to call it. Graphical User Interface. Okay. So I'm going to explain to you a little bit of this. In the graphical human interface, you have two stages, let's say, okay? What you see with your eyes and what you do with your mouse, right? Two things. What you see, the visual, graphical human interface, right? Graphical, because you see it with your eyes, and you have that the UI, human interface, right? And the UX is for human experience. So you have the human interface and the human experience, UI, UX, okay? Two things. So first thing you need to learn to know, is what you cannot, what you see, with your eyes, and what you do, you need a support, a canvas. For example, when you're a painter, right? You need something to paint. So, right? So you need something to apply your paint on. Okay? So a sculpture needs a piece of marble, right? To do things. So you need a support. And the support in FileMaker and in many other software, in the old software, is a space defined in a square like this. We call window, right? We call that a window, right? So let me share my screen right quick and show you this. So this is a window, okay? So we have a window. Within the window, we have things. We can see things, right? We can see, we can manipulate things with the mouse, right? We have action. So what we see, we can interact. That's why we said interface, right? We can interact. What we see is what let us interact to do something. Icon, list view, airdrop, back, icon, list view, sort, reverse sort, reverse sort, right? So you see, we have a support, the canvas of the painter, right? We have graphical objects, the UI, the human interface that let us do things, the human experience, right? So far, I don't see any question on Discord, so I'm going to follow.
Nope, you're good.
So the first thing we need, I know the boss said, "Oh, you Nick with your history and stuff like that." I said, "Yeah, I'm a French guy." One day I remember I was in the Acropolis in Greece, and I heard somebody said, with a strong American accent, by the way, I heard somebody say, "Tear down this stuff and build a Hilton hotel and stuff instead," right? So yeah, because it's old and crumbling, right? But history is important. Okay, so I'm Greek and French, so problem with the history. So I want to explain to you a little bit. First of all, it will interest you. First of all, okay, why we call a computer, okay? Because people don't know that. The terminology came in 1613. Yeah, in 1613, the computer is the one, right? One who calculates. It's a person in charge of calculating things, right? And that's why they call that a computer, Because the first computer in the world, right? The first computer in the world was to replace the human computer of what's the name? Pension, retirement company of the state of all the retirees of the state of Illinois. Okay, so that was the first computer, right? The first computer system to replace a human computer. Okay, so that a little bit of history. That's what we call computer, right? So the first way to interact with the machine, the first UX, the human experience was this, right? Punch cards, and that was what the computer was returning based on what the guy here asked to do, right? That was the first human experience. No graphical, nothing, right? And what is interesting, right? This is what the computer was returning, right? They call that a codec card, right? So that was the computer was returning this. And I want you to notice the columns, okay? Very important, the column. Then what we had, instead of paper, we still have a typewriter, okay, a typewriter. And we had, instead of a paper, we had that on screen, right? So, and we had the first human interface, that was this, right? The infamous DOS, okay? That DOS. And also, I want you to notice the columns. Today, we don't have anything very different, okay? We still have the same thing, everything's the same. And we have a window, right? We have a window. We have buttons, graphical interface here to interact, with records. So we have action, we have experience, we can do graphical experience, right? So a human experience, so we can go layout mode, so we change and we have things, we have object, we can interact. This is the interface, and this is the graphical interface and the human experience, right? Let's talk a little bit about this. So the question is, why, when I build my solution FileMaker, why does it matter? It matters a big deal. It matters a big deal. Why? Because, okay, let's back off. In the past, in the 1980s, it didn't matter at all. It didn't matter because we used to learn how to use the computer. We were learning to use a computer, right? We were all learning. And we didn't have any experience in our lives, right? We didn't have any experience of computers. Everything was new, We might have knowledge on using Excel or Words, right? But pretty much as a developer in FileMaker, we were able to produce all the ugliest things in the world, and people were happy, right? Because, I remember myself doing this, teaching my customers, right? teaching my customer how to use my stuff, right? And I remember I was selling the teaching, by the way. I was selling the teaching. I was, making money out of this because people were willing to learn, to sit down with me hours and learn how to use my stuff, right? That's okay. But today is not the case. Today, we don't want that. Today, we are educated. So we all go to the ATM. On the ATM, we have interface, user interface, right? We have user interface. At the bank, you go to your favorite, fast food, and what do we get? You get a tablet on your table to get your order, right? So at home we have Roku TV, we have Netflix, we have HBO, we have all, and also they are user interface, all of them. And they all act the same way. If you use, because I'm doing this, if you use Netflix on your TV and you use HBO on your TV, you have a column on the left, with the search option, with the start option, the home, home, search, profiles, right? We all have the same thing. They all act the same way. Why? Because we are educated, and HBO and Netflix doesn't want you to learn, because if you have to learn, you will turn away. Let's say if you know Netflix and you have to learn HBO, you might not go to HBO at all. So HBO said, oh, I'm going to do the same as Netflix. And Netflix people say, oh, I don't want the HBO guys to be upset when they come to me, and I'm going to do the same. So every day we go and we have Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, I don't know, Instagram, I don't know, all those social network we go. Your bank, you go to the bank, you use Google, you use, I don't know, your favorite websites. And today, we are all educated, and that makes all the difference, because when you are educated on something, you expect something because we educated you that way. If I educated, for example, I'm going to take the example of the music app, okay? The music app. It used to be that the play button was a real play button. A real play button. A button, a physical button that you could press with your mouse, see the button pressed, right? Like a real thing, like the real tape player. And pretty much it was a replication of a tape player, right? A tape. And why in the past they were taking so many efforts to get you a real fake tape player? Because they wanted you to feel comfortable. Because they didn't want you to feel completely lost and say, what the heck is this? If in 1985 I had a music application on my Mac Plus that was looking with this type of control, nobody will understand what it is. I mean, yes, they will, but they will feel uncomfortable, right? So today, we know that is the sound, is the volume. We know it, We know the play, the fast forward. We know that is repeat. I don't even have, look, I don't even have the text. I know it is repeat. I know it. How I know it? Because I am educated 30 years of seeing the same damn button that's do the same damn thing. I don't even need to have the text anymore. And I'm talking about Apple Music, the most viewed application in the Apple world, right? We don't have, we don't have the, let me turn off this. This is repeat. And guess what? Guess what? If I press another time, if I press first time, I repeat. If I press a second time, I repeat once. You understand? You have the little one here. If I click, I don't repeat. I click, I repeat. I click again, I repeat once. I know it. And what is this? Let's see if you guys are educated. What is this button here? Okay, Robin, you go. You have 10. You have a good point. Robin's good. So shuffle. Okay, how you know that? I don't see the words shuffle. I don't even have a tooltip, right? How damn I know that? Because I am educated. This here, what this will do, that will open a window, that will do something, that will show me a list. Let's try. Oh, show your list. Actually, show you a list. Oh, cool. What this do, right? So, now that go back, right? But I don't even have the back name. I know because every time I see an arrow on the left is back, an arrow on the right is next. I know it, right? I know that's clickable. How I know that's clickable? How I know? Because when I hover, I have the little underlining stuff. I know it's clickable, right? I know that's why I have this, because if I click here, I will play it, right? I can play this. So what is this plus do? It will add this in my playlist. That's what this do, the hamburger, the meatball, because that's a meatball, right? Remember, hamburger is vertical, meatball is horizontal. So if I click here, okay, I have a menu. If I click here, I have a menu. So you understand, right, that UI, user interface, is very important. The way it is organized will tell you all, right? For example, here, I have, so let's take something that talks better than this. Okay, let's take this. What is this? What is this? What is this? And what is this? I have no labels. Yes, I have the Marseillaise. I have a jazz version of the Marseillaise. Okay, so what is this? I have no idea because I don't have the title of this. I don't have the label, but I know that I am in album. It's an album, so that's the name of the album. Obviously, this is the name of the artist. Obviously, this is a type, of the variety of music, the genre, and obviously that the date of issue, right? It's obvious. We all have this, right? So, so that's why we don't have that my best. So that's the name that in Colombia is a famous artist here. That's the name of the album. That is the name of the guy, the artist. This is the genre and the year. So the way you are going to organize your buttons, the way you're going to organize your text, the way you're going to organize things in your layout will make the thing understandable or not, right? Or not. So that's why it matters. The UI, the design matters a lot, because unless it's for you, if you are the only user of your production, you can do whatever you want. Like me, my stuff are the most horrible stuff ever. It's because I don't care. It's for me. It's for me. I don't give a damn. But for my customers, right, I want to make things the most understandable possible. And you will see that it's not that simple to build simple things. It's not that simple. It's complicated. The people at Apple, to get this, they might have struggled, No, really. And I know that by fact that this organization here is based on years of experience. That's why I have I get two things. First, I've learned the design like a real designer, and second, I got a lot of feedbacks and returns from my customers. So let me turn back, go back to the iTunes music. So when you have, we can take Dave. So when we have a graphical user interface, okay, you have a mix of objects, type of object, right? It's a mix of them. You might have photos or icons, right? You might have text. You might have buttons, and you might have different type of buttons. You have text. You have big text like this alone, or you have text within a list, right? So you have objects, clickable objects. You have box where you can search. So you have different buttons here, right? With different actions. So that's why they look different. Sometimes they look like a toggle, like this one. That's a toggle, right? That means activate, this one deactivate, activate, this one deactivate. It's a toggle, okay? So you might have toggles. You might have many things, right? So, but the way it is, the most important things to learn, right? It's how to organize those things. This is the most difficult part of it, of the design. How to organize, how to lay down things without to be complicated, without to be overwhelming, visually overwhelming your user. They have no idea what to do, right? So, and why the design applies to FileMaker solution? Because what iTunes, music, iTunes, what is music? It's a database, okay? It's a database that I can search, and sort, and do things with my data, okay? Plenty, like every time I said it's something that FileMaker does, okay? Search, display data as a record, right? Display object, photos, buttons, actions, menus, You know, so we have the same. Actually, I know we can build a music player with FileMaker. Why I know it's possible? Because I built one. I built a perfect, total, complete replication of iTunes of 2009, right? FileMaker 10. So FileMaker 10. At the time of FileMaker 10, I replicated iTunes from the beginning to the end with FileMaker. So I know iTunes music is the database, nothing more. It's a database. So FileMaker is a database as well, right? But do we want our database to look like this? That's what we want? That's what we want. We want the database to look like this? No, we don't want. We want something more elaborated, like this, right? Like this. We want something like this. Okay. So how we can do that? So let's talk about a little bit of the basic, you know. Let's say this is your human interface, you know, a user interface. And you want to do something here. You know, you want to organize your stuff, you know. The first thing you need to learn, you know, is this. So let me bring something like this. Let me bring this, right? So how you read this? So how you read this? You start from here, right? You start here on the A of according, and then you go down like this. Okay, so you will read according to the OG4. So you will read from the left to the right, from the top to the bottom. Okay, and this since you know, the 10 God commandment of the tablets. That's how it works. Okay, we read from the top to the left, to the top, from the left to the right, from the top to the bottom. Okay, so that being said, we do exactly the same thing. First, you can start with the basic, okay, and say what this is. This is a layout, okay, for example. So this is a layout. But something wrong here, right? I mean, something wrong. It's a title, okay? You want to put a title. So it's a title. This is a layout. So this is a title. And we learn, you have learned it, and you read it all the time, that titles are bigger. They're bigger. Why? Because they are the title, right? They are the big boss, you know. Big boss are always, you know, the name big, you know. So we do the same thing. So that's the boss. So we're going to put that a little bit bigger, you know. Okay. But what happened if I do this and I put the same twice here? You will say, okay, oh, why 2 times the same words on the layout? So what the purpose of this? Then you're in big doo-doo here. Because if you start doing things and users can start asking questions, is that you have a problem with your UI. If when you see a UI, you ask yourself things, is that something wrong? So we cannot never, ever put twice the same thing on the layout because you raise questions. Raising questions is the beginning of the end. So then you might want to have a button to do something. For example, right? I want a button that do this, new record, right? I want a button that do new record, right? And I want another button, right? Delete record. And I want another button that says find record. And now another button that said sort record. So here you have buttons, right? But really, this is annoying, right? It's annoying because it's complicated and you repeat yourself all the time. New record, delete record, find record, sort record. Okay, I got it. That records. Okay, I got it. Wow. It's not, you don't need to repeat yourself all the time, right? So, and you have buttons here. That would have been good in 1984. In 1984, I might have to do that because people had no idea what a button is, no idea what a mouse is, no idea what a computer is, right? So I might have done that in the past, and I'm pretty sure I did, right? But now, what can I do to fix this? Use the common knowledge of educated people we are. New. Get rid of this. And I put this, the obvious, that new. Add new, look. Like Apple do, I don't know where, but at one point I had a plus somewhere. I don't know where. I had a plus somewhere. No, I don't have the plus. Okay, never mind. But I had a plus somewhere at one point. So see, we don't have buttons. We don't have, we don't have the text. We don't have fast rewind. We don't have, or rewind, like the tape player. We don't have a back, next, pause. We don't have the words. We have the icon. That's it. Because we are educated, right? So let's use our education skills. Delete. What can be delete? The common knowledge of delete, right? It's a trash, not the common knowledge of delete, right? So let's remove the text here. Put back the trash. Now the trash, right? And find record. What find? On every single software in the world, find, search what it is, right? A magnifier. Search, it's a magnifier. Why? Because of Sherlock Holmes, right? That's true. That's true. The lady who had this idea in the 1980s, I don't remember her name, used the famous Sherlock Holmes for findings, the magnifier, right? So where's the magnifier? Magnifier, search, right? Okay, sort, it's debatable, right? It's debatable, sort, Personally, I use this icon here for sorting. Okay, I have a question for you. Who doesn't understand this? Yeah, Susan Kerr. Yeah, thank you, Susan Kerr. Okay, so who doesn't understand that? I'm asking a question. Come on, people. Sort is not clear to me. Okay, yeah. It's people are using different, they can have normally I have an icon. It's an arrow, that go from top to the bottom like this with an A and a Z, A to Z, So A on top, Z on the bottom. But anyway, you understand what I mean. The people, and I will answer, look, David, I will answer this. If you don't understand what this is, don't use the computer. Don't use it. You have problem. I mean, it's no way that you can, it's no way, if you don't understand what that is, there's no way you can start a computer, install FileMaker in your computer. It's impossible. So anyway, the people who doesn't understand that are not qualified to, use a computer. They can't, right? So that's why I'm not afraid about this, right? So now, so that's a basic, right? So now what happens if I do this? What happens if I do this? Right? That's the problem here, right? People, we come here, say, okay, oh, a plus here, magnifier here. Why? What happened to you? Which one? So you raise the question. You remember what I told you? When you raise a question, you have a problem, right? You have a problem. So what happened? When you have a duplication like this, you raise a question, people are questioning, so you have a problem in your UI. Your UI doesn't work, right? You cannot do this. You cannot, So what we are going to learn, right? Let's say, right, you want to add a contact, add a project, and add a product, right? So people with the, oh yeah, I have the solution. Okay, give me your solution. You do this, and you say, right? What did I say first? A contact. Okay, add contact, right? Add contact. Maybe we can do this. Add contact. Add project. And add products. Okay, cool. So let's put that on the same, So I'm showing you how when you have something like this, so let me show you how you organize this, like something like this. So you put yourself here, you say you want to align on the top, and then you want to distribute, right? And if you want to distribute a little bit closer, you do this, and you select this, and you say distribute. Okay, so I distribute my stuff. Okay, you say, okay, add contact, add project, add product, plus, plus. Okay, I have the little project stuff. I have the title that helped me, but this is not good. Why? Because complicated. To read is complicated. It's confused myself. It's a lot to read. So we have another way. Okay. Why not doing something simpler than this? Simpler for the user, but not for you. For you, it's more complicated, but for you, the user is easier. So that's what I want to show you, in this basic for the beginners is that, so we learn how to make things cooler, we learn how to make things better, but now we are going to learn how to make things great. Okay. First of all, we add a button here with a plus. That's all what I need. I need a plus button. Where's my plus button? Okay, I have it in front of my eyes. Okay, okay. And here in the title, I'm putting add, right? And then I'm putting this here, here, and here. And of course, I'm going to get rid of the icon because we have it. So now distribute vertically, and I'm doing this. I saw a question on Discord, so I'm going to answer the question when I'm done with this. So we can make this, I don't know why they did that, you know. So close this, put this here, I distribute, and voila. So now I have my plus button, contacts, project, products. Clean, clear, simple, straightforward, but for you developer, much more complicated because you have to add the popover, position the free button inside, put the title of the popover that you didn't have by duplicating the button and put button, you know, like 200 billion buttons like this, you know, and you know, so I saw a question here. Nick could comment on the flat interface with the shadow interface for you. Okay, yeah, it's a good question. I don't know. It's a good question. So the question is this: wondering if I could comment on the flat interface and versus you know, versus the shadowed interface and stuff like that, right? So you guys had noticed, all of them, that everybody is going to a flat design. Everybody is going to even a flat minimalist design named new morphism. So that's I think is good for the first day, right? I mean, I introduced.
No, I think you've covered a lot.
Okay, I mean, yes, but you know, because I have a lot of cover. It's not done. We have 3 days, right? So tomorrow we're going to do a little bit more, but I'm going to explain the new morphism. So if I open, this is Discord, okay? It's worldwide famous, and especially on the young community. So that's being said, that explains many things. The young community, they have no care about the 30 plus, no care, you know, not at all. So that's why this also, it's a new morphism minimalist interface. You have no borders. You have no borders like this, no boxes. If you go to the settings here, right, you see how it is organized. It's a list of things, and so you have like this, right? So you see how it is organized. It's very simple, like here, for example. I have nothing. I have a small, very thin hair separation that you just barely see, okay? Because you don't need a big flat, fat, you know, berm, like no need. You have buttons here, green, gray, you know. Very important, green. Very important, because in one glance, pam, you know which one is off. You know, one glance is here, right? So you have a very simple things, right? Text, title, bigger, a little bit of explanation, and on-off. That's it, right? So it's very minimalist, right? Very, very, very minimalist, and they got rid of the complexity. And I have no buttons whatsoever, very small button here, no title. I have a tooltip. Yeah, they put a tooltip, but I have no, this here, see, I have no, what's the name? Titles and no labels. No labels whatsoever. No, show me one label. I want one label. I don't have. This, I don't have. Plus here, settings, the mute, I have no whatsoever, what's the name? Labels. Okay. So the flat design has been built to remove, the idea of the flat design is to remove everything that is not necessary. So a border is not necessary, so when you have here, all of this, the complexity, the gradients, the border, the corner radius, all of this is totally, completely useless, because you can understand the same. Useless. Label useless. Everything is useless. This is what you need. That's all what you need. Right? And maybe you need, a very thin, very, very thin hair, barely, noticeable separation, right? And that's it. That's all what you need. Do we need this bar in the middle? No, we don't need it. We can get rid of this completely. And you just put this in black, and that's it. This is a layout. Same thing. Maybe you can put this, separation like this, and that's it. Okay, you have your design. And that, you understand? Get rid of what is not necessary, period, right? That is the concept of flat design. Flat design is I get rid of the boxes, I get rid of everything. And neumorphism is where we put a little bit of a third dimension to get multiple, what's the name? To get a third dimension of priority. Something that gets a shadow is more take priority on something that doesn't. Something that has, that looks like more realistic. You have something like flat totally, like one color. And suddenly you have something that has more, looks more real. It's because they want you to focus on this more than, the other. So it's a way to emphasize things and to get things more noticeable in a complex environment, right? Without to crush what we call crush. I'm going to teach you that, what a crush design is, right? So but that in the future. Now we just in the beginners. So I show you, how to organize things, how we start something, why we start from the top left and not from the bottom right, why the top left is more hierarchy. In the hierarchy, is more take priority versus the bottom left, the bottom right that has less priority. Top left, more priority, bottom right, less priority. It's because because since the beginning of time, I mean, in the Occidental world, we read from the left to the right and from the top to the bottom, right? And top to bottom and left from right, even the Japanese and Chinese do that. You know, we read left, right, top, bottom. They read top, bottom, left, right, but still, it's the same direction, you know? So if we don't have any question, I think we're good to learn. I do like the border to differentiate the button from the label or non-clickable button from changing the mouse over. Yeah. After that, you have, yeah. So I don't know who asked this question here. It's who said that? Stu. Okay, yeah. But that after that, you have preferences. Okay, you have preferences. You have tastes, right? I have a famous interview of Steve Jobs, right? I know. And he was talking about the difference between Apple and Microsoft, right? You remember that old, long go away, long time away war, right? And he was saying this. He was saying, yeah, they're good, they do good things. They earn their success, right? But he was saying the problem is they don't have taste, right? So, and he was right. So, preference, taste, then you have the magic. So you have the talents. It's like somebody playing piano that will get you to tears, and somebody playing the piano, they will say, okay, let's go, let's move on, right? That's the difference. That's all. So you have talents, tastes, preference, but you need to learn the foundation. For example, you have different writers in English, right? You don't have only one writer. You have different writers. They all have different style. Some are very good, some are very bad, but they all use English as language. I mean, English writer, right? So after that, it's a matter of taste, preferences. They're the same. Tomorrow, what is on the schedule? Because you notice that I'm staying on schedule now.
Yes. Tomorrow the schedule is briefly minimize you.
Yeah, positioning of object and everything. Oh yeah, telling the story and the concept of expression and function and how to use color. That tomorrow. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, Nick. I greatly appreciate it.
Got a report of an individual up here who may be a FileMaker license. Well, it's potentially expired. Look at the back of that car right there. Looks like the FileMaker license has expired. Sir, I need you to step out of the vehicle. Sir, step out of the vehicle. Sir.